Hey guys, welcome to General Query. This is Fonz. I go by he, him, and his.
Hey guys, and this is Zuki, and I go by she, her, and hers. Welcome to General Query. And if you can't tell by that intro, we're a little delirious.
Just a little, just a little
Just a
delulu.
little, just a little delulu. I was actually telling Fonz right before we got on microphone is that, and I want to share with you guys. Uh, because I always make the joke that I'm always like slightly unstable. So I'm gonna make Fonz listen to the story again. I work remotely, and so I sometimes, get a little stir crazy. And so I decided, you know what? I'm gonna try to be helpful to my community and get some human interaction in the process. So I was like, let me go down to my local public library and ask about volunteering opportunities. So I go down there, and there's a lovely librarian there, very attractive young lady, uh, who is very smiley and lovely, helping me. And I told Fonz, I went up there to talk to her, and I was like, hey, wanted to ask about some volunteering opportunities because I work from home and it can be very isolating. And my voice cracked and my eyes welled up. And I realized I almost started crying at 11 a.m. at the public library in front of this lovely lady who immediately looked alarmed, concerned. And by alarmed, I don't mean like she was like, oh my God, what a fucking weirdo. No. She was like, oh my God, like, let me help you. Like, and I was like, holy shit, I just did this to this poor woman. Like, she probably thinks like I'm a fucking flight risk. Like, I don't know where it came from, guys. Like, I just think I was just like so stressed from like all manner of things that I think this, honestly, I'm gonna be very, it was her eyes. It was her green eyes. She had green eyes.
You're like, I
Like,
just gave it.
honestly, I just like it was she's just looking at me and she's like all smiling and she has all these like inclusive pins on her fucking lanyard.
I feel like you had one of those like little movie moments where like I don't know. The first thing I thought about as you're talking was like Confessions of a Shopaholic. When she like goes home and freezes her cards, I feel like that was you. Just like the green eyes gave you so much like welcome spirit, and you were like,
Yes, yes. No, she was so lovely. And she was like, yeah. And we have book clubs and this and that. And she was like, it's my favorite thing. She's like, there's a spot for everyone. She's literally talking to me like I'm this lost puppy. I know this woman fosters fucking hordes of kittens somewhere in her house and probably humans too. I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know. I I loved her immediately. And it was so embarrassing because now I'm going to go back, obviously. Like, I'm sticking to this fucking volunteering thing, but I'm going to go back and I'm going to have to interact with this woman that like saw me almost cry on like first meeting her, which is like, that's where I am mentally in the year of our Lord 2024. So hi,
right.
everyone.
I think
Hello.
that's a lot of us though. Like we can relate.
You think
If I
so?
sound, yeah, if I sound half asleep,
Because
Suki
he is.
knows why.
Yeah. So really quick, so to explain why there's a week gap, guys, like Fonzie's schedule has been fucking
Trash.
garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So like
Yeah.
literally it has been impossible for us to be able for
To
to
coordinate
record
any, like,
anything.
so you guys hear about a good hour of this, right? But
Yeah.
this is a whole endeavor.
It's a whole endeavor. Like
Just
it's
the,
it's
I feel
like
like
recording it,
no,
editing.
it's the setup itself
Yeah,
takes about 30 minutes.
at
Okay.
least.
And that's if I'm on time. If I'm not on time, it's a whole hour.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then aside from that, like you mentioned, the recording, catching
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
and then the editing. So
Yeah. The
to
editing
your
takes a
point,
while. Yeah.
yes, it's a process.
It's a process, but the thing is, to be clear, we're not complaining. We love it. We love
We
the
do
process.
love it. Yeah, we love the
We
torture.
hate that we have to do other things that prevent us from this process.
Very
That
that.
that part. Um,
Yeah.
yes, and so Fonzie's schedule has been absolute trash, and so that's why there's this gap.
Right.
We're coming to you live, exhausted, frazzled, somehow less stable than the past couple times
Yeah.
we've
No,
been here.
definitely less stable. So this is me
Yeah.
9 days after working.
Straight.
No, after working 9 days straight. There you go. And then my body just randomly woke up at 5 a.m. for some odd fucking reason. Oh,
It just
and
refuses
I'm
to
having
quit.
a good time. Look, unfortunately, I didn't have any white wine glasses because I did break them all. But we're here and I'm having a good time.
Nobody would know. Nobody knows what. Please, if you're watching this on YouTube and you can see him, or if this is a clip that he puts on fucking any of our socials, please comment down below if somebody had a gun to your head and said, "Hey, loser, point out which one is a white wine glass." First of all, say that 3 times fast. White
Blah,
wine
blah,
glass,
blah.
and or a red wine glass, or a champagne glass, or whatever.
Okay, okay,
Can
okay.
you?
Champagne, we're getting a little crazy. If somebody doesn't know what a flute looks like, there's a problem.
Oh, sorry. See, it's called a flute. It's called a flute. Okay. Freaking uncultured swine. Called a flute. Yeah, come on, guys. Please. Oh my God. Okay. I would not know what a white wine glass is, and he knows this. I think we've talked about this before. He knows this
Yeah.
and he hates this because he knows that when he's coming over, he's gonna drink out of whatever fucking glass I give him.
Yeah, no, and
And
it's not just your house. You should go to my mom's house. She has a few wine glasses, most of which are red wine glasses, and we just drink everything out of it. And this is the thing, like I've mentioned a million times before. I don't mind it if it's not my house because I can deal. But if I'm home, I'm gonna get as picky as I want. Yes.
so, yeah, if we ever finally do see your meltdown, your breakdown, it's gonna be like at an aisle of like an IKEA when they finally like don't have like the wine glass that you were looking for,
Or
for
the
a very
plates. I hate it
specific, or
when they
the
don't
plate.
have like white plates. I'm like,
We've all
once
fucking
again,
did that. You know
Delulu.
what I mean? Delulu. That's the thing. Like Delulu, but I will say, good things are happening. I see people are excited for things happening in the political sphere.
Oh my god, yes.
People are thrilled. I was on a fundraising call for cat ladies for Kamala Harris last weekend,
I
and it
love
raised
that.
$300,000 in an hour. No big deal.
Wow.
Which was excellent. Yeah. Cat ladies for Kamala Harris. They did great. Kamala Harris has picked her running mate in Tim Walz, if you haven't been keeping track. And he is an excellent pick. He is a lifelong LGBTQ advocate. He has been that way since
LGBTQ
the 90s.
plus, women's
Yeah.
rights. He's
Yep.
probably a pioneer on a lot of things.
A lot of
I
things.
personally didn't know of him before
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
picked. But
Yeah.
since he was picked, I've probably listened to a bunch of TikToks and podcasts about him
Yeah.
and why she chose him, and it
Chose
just makes
him.
sense. Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Complete
Some
sense.
people were like kind of like sad that Pete, what is his last name, Buttigieg or Buttigieg
Buttigieg.
or whatever the fuck,
Yeah.
wasn't
Same
picked.
thing.
Some people were upset about that because he has been advocating for her for
Yeah.
since she decided she was going to run up, which is fine. I mean, but I think she made the right choice, and I think
I
it
think
just
she
comes
did
to
too.
show that she is the right choice.
Yeah, I think she
Yeah,
did. I think she did great.
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of doubting it, especially just her vice presidency has kind of been like meh, you know? But her
Absolutely.
stepping up has been very different.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. And I think the sort of like Midwestern dad energy that Tim Walz is bringing to the ticket is like
I
weirdly
also think
refreshing.
that he's I guess from what I've heard through podcasts and stuff, like he's a huge Christian and
Yeah,
very
he is.
conservative in those sense of values and stuff. But
Yes.
also his political outlook is very, I guess, liberal, if you may.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
one thing that I think obviously he's like you said, he's been very, very a huge advocate for bodily autonomy, always has been. So his daughter, Hope, was conceived through IVF. So his family has been very, very much directly affected by having the ability to pursue reproductive choices and his wife being able to do those things with the freedom that they had to
Right.
do so.
Absolutely.
So he definitely comes from that lived experience. Now, both of them, him and his wife, were high school teachers, and they started their careers in the 90s, and they both started the LGBTQ well at the time it was LGBTQ alliance clubs in their high school when it was not popular to do so. So yeah, like you said, very much a pioneer, very much, like you said, conservative, your run of the mill white dude, but also very, very socially
Yeah.
liberal
Also,
and
let's
forward.
give like credit where it's due. Of course, it's strategical. Like, of
Of
course,
course it is.
Kamala
Of
Harris picked
course.
it thinking of that audience that she's
That
not,
mix.
yeah,
Yeah, she's
that
not
audience that
stupid.
she's not getting to. Like, she's
Yeah,
picking someone who's willing to compromise, you know? Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. No,
Without being irrational. So I think that's lovely.
I think that's great. And I
Yeah.
think yeah, I'm
It's a
happy.
power move for sure.
It's a power move, but it's not over. So nobody fucking rest on your laurels. I think it's super important. We see in the news things are going better, and then people chill. Don't
Don't.
chill.
Both of us don't.
I'm all freaking out. I'm like, don't fucking chill out, guys. It's
Speaking of
not
chilling
time.
out,
Yeah, it's not
we
over
should
till it's
talk about
over.
our theme for today or topic.
Yeah, yes, we
Very not
talk
chill.
about not chilling out.
Yeah,
And they're
I
like,
think let's give them a little bit of background to this. So, like,
yes, please. Yeah.
you and I always talk about like TikTok and reels and stuff.
Yeah.
And so this topic for today was actually like one of the reels that I saw on Instagram. And then I was
Mhm.
like, oh my God, that's so cool, whatever.
Great
Just
idea.
this one person that goes around New York, they set a table, it's a he, but anyway, they set a table in the middle of New York, wherever it might be, whether it's, the subway, Washington Park or Central Park, whatever. He just leaves a table there with a little jar. It has a huge cardboard with a question. The question typically varies depending on his mood, I guess. But the one that caught our eye was, what is the most painful thing anyone said to you or someone has said to you? And that's why you guys have been seeing it on our stories. And we've been reaching out to you guys and asking because
Yeah.
we're curious. And it's interesting because it's pain, like emotional pain, is way different than physical pain. And I think, yeah, we've talked about depression, we've talked about, self care and stuff like that. But I think emotional pain is correlated, but completely different to the topics that
Oh,
we've
yeah.
discussed before. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's super, super different. And I think depending on your upbringing, even being able to recognize psychological or emotional pain isn't something that is instinctual, right?
Right.
So, yeah, so we all know if you touch something hot, ow, it burns, that hurts, right?
Yeah.
Emotional pain is not like that. Psychological
Yeah.
pain is
And
not like that.
also, I think going back to some episodes that we've done before, it relates to emotions and stuff. People do not teach you emotions like
No.
happiness. People do not teach you sadness. And I think emotional pain is one of those things that people
Yeah.
do not teach you. Like, how do
No.
you interpret that, you know?
How do you interpret that? How do you handle it?
And by
Right?
people,
Like
I mean
how?
like your parents or whoever takes care of
Yeah.
you, because I know some of you guys were probably brought up by nannies, but these people do not, or maybe a laptop. I don't know, fucking know. But you're not taught to deal with,
Your emotions.
emotional pain. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So all of those things as you get older get compounded into this, and it makes it so much harder. Um, and the problem with not being able to deal with emotional pain or psychological pain effectively, or even being able to recognize it, is that there will come a day where it all hits you like a ton of bricks. In the moment. And
I
then that can
think for
be a
me,
lot.
I want to clarify when you say deal with emotional pain, understand, I think it's the
Understand.
word.
That's the
Yeah.
word. Yeah.
When
Understand.
you're
That's
able to
better.
understand your
Understand
emotional
it.
pain, because
Yes.
deal with it is different than
Uh,
understanding, because when you
I,
understand where that pain is coming from, then it's easier to deal or work
yes.
on it. Yeah.
Actually, perfectly spotted. Yeah. Because literally dealing with it can be ignoring it, which doesn't mean you understand it. Absolutely. No, it's spot on. No, no.
Us.
It's actually. Oh, is she talking
Guilty.
about me? Was that about me?
I know.
Um, it was. Um, Queen of avoidance. I'm like, I'm busy. I can't feel sad this year. I'll do that next
you're,
year.
you're like, let me go cry at a library. I'll deal with you tomorrow. Yeah.
Not crying away. Oh, that's what I get. That's so true. Let me go cry in a library instead of deal with my emotions.
Correct.
Understand my emotions. Sorry, you're absolutely
Right.
right. Let me
Yeah.
let me cry at this gorgeous librarian. I'm fine, nice lady.
Like you said, it's
Um,
the green eyes. I think there's
it
something
just
about
she
that.
just
Yeah.
she just disarmed me. I
Also,
was
quick
like,
caveat. I know people
yeah,
think the green eyes are common, but they're not as common as like blue eyes.
no, they're not. And let me tell you again, real quick caveat. Yes, you're correct. They're not as common. And her green eyes, okay, were like,
Please don't say the grass in the summer in the spring.
no, 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 that would be so lame. You know what I thought of when
Uh-huh.
I was looking into her particular green eyes? Fairies. She had the green eyes of like a fairy, like a periwinkle, almost like if it were fabric, it would have been this sheer, like gorgeous green fabric. And meanwhile, my husband listening to this podcast, like, is she good or?
And then as you're trying to describe, I'm like, yeah, chiffon.
He's like, my husband's like, is she okay? Like, uh, no, no, no.
I
Yeah,
love it.
her eyes reminded me of fairies.
You know
That's what
what's
I.
weird? Okay, so you say fairies, and then you're talking about like this sheer fabric, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So it wasn't green, but I had this. I don't know why we went onto fabric, but anyway, at this the most beautiful plum. I think I used it for your dress. I can't remember if it was your dress or someone else's dress, but anyway, it was this beautiful like plum fabric. Um, Chiffon. It was sheer, obviously, but it had like some sort of like not iridescence, but shine to it. I don't know. Anyway, point is that's all I thought about, but in green when you said
Listen.
sheer green fabric.
Yeah. No. So yes, all that to say, because if you're like me or like Fonz, psychological pain or emotional pain is difficult to understand in the moment, which is why we are always wax poetic about like things like therapy, things like that. But I think also it's hard too, right? Because I think one of the things that I want to make a quick caveat before we go into the stories is like, as someone that is a huge advocate for therapy, one thing that I have found is that therapy itself comes with its own weight, right? When you go through it and when you're doing it. And as I've mentioned before, I recently moved, which means I had to leave my therapist because, you know, state licensure requirements and all that fun stuff. And I haven't returned to therapy. And the idea of returning to therapy is
Gives you anxiety.
so, yeah, it is so daunting. It is so fucking daunting, y'all. Which sounds insane, right? Like, it's like, come on, dude. Like, sounds almost counterintuitive, but it isn't. I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't want to start this over again, right? Um, and so because it is a lot of work, it's literally like you're carrying a big ass backpack and you're like, all right, hey, guy, how's it going? Here, you know? Yeah, so it's difficult. So I definitely don't want to, you know, come at you guys from this place that it's like, oh, therapist just like you just get in there and just feel so much better immediately. No, you don't.
Yeah,
It's a
I think
lot of
we've
work that goes
mentioned it
into it.
before. I don't know if it was our self-care episode or depression episode, but I
Yeah.
think we talked about it a bit where it was like it is work and it's hard work.
Mhm.
And you
Yeah.
can't do the work if you don't, self-analyze.
Oh my
And
God.
that's one of the things that like emotional pain takes, a lot of analyzing and a lot of
It does.
internal, you know, deconstruction, like seeing where this is coming from. Because emotional pain is harsh to understand.
It is.
Because it
It is.
could easily get, I mean, it is linked to, but it could easily get confused with depression.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So
And yes,
here,
emotional pain can eventually deal to depression, but like
depression,
you
but it
have to
isn't.
understand where that emotional pain is coming from before you let it or allow yourself to get depressed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's give you guys a quick little definition moment, as we like to do here at General Query. So psychological pain, which can be equated with mental pain or emotional pain, is an unpleasant feeling of a psychological, which means a non-physical origin. A pioneer in the field described it as how much you hurt as a human being. It is mental suffering, mental torment. Um, Technical terms include algorithmia or psychalgia, but it may also be simply referred to as social pain. Um, Psychological pain is widely believed to be an inescapable aspect of human existence, right? So that goes a little bit to what you just said about depression, right? Depression is one of those things that it is a clinical diagnosis, right? It is something that people suffer from. Not everyone does, right? Whereas psychological pain is something that everyone at one point or another will, right?
Yeah.
Suffer.
And just
It's
to
inescapable.
for people who find it hard to understand what that means is like psychological pain could be anything from like failing a test you were very excited to pass or you
Yep.
killed yourself studying to pass to like a breakup or to obviously someone's passing or
Yep.
feeling that sort of, I don't know, negligence from your parents. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot
Yeah.
of examples of emotional pain that every single person, and I
No.
am even not getting approved for the fucking Mercedes you wanted. That could be a form of emotional
Yeah.
pain. Yeah. You spoiled
Yeah.
brat.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
110%.
No,
Yes.
I do want to share like the comparison between like emotional pain and like physical pain.
Yeah.
So emotional pain can often feel as strong as physical pain, and at times can even cause pain throughout the body. It can also have detrimental impact on both short-term and long-term mental well-being.
Yeah.
That's why getting appropriate help and treatment is important, and that refers back to therapy. But I think like before we started recording, you mentioned something very, very interesting to me about the link between women and emotional pain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'll post this on the Instagram and on the TikTok. It's such a fucking millennial thing to do, on the whatever. Who fucking says that? Anyways, on
I didn't
Instagram and
even catch it.
TikTok.
That was
Yeah,
one
dude,
of
I was
those
like,
wine glass scenarios. Like I didn't catch it, but
yeah, no, so I posted it on the Instagram.
on
No,
Instagram.
on Instagram and on TikTok. What is fucking wrong with me?
Right.
Anyways, so yes, so it's a very
Just so you guys know,
interesting.
I'm older.
Yeah. So um we need to anyway. So it's a doctor, Dr. Gabor Mate. He is an excellent psychologist. He specializes in trauma, actually. And he's very, very well known in on social media because he has he is really easy to understand. He's very good at it. But one thing that he was talking about was that he found in his research that women are hugely overrepresented in the research as having autoimmune diseases, things like rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, things like that. And what we know about those diseases is that they are diseases of the nervous system, right? And these diseases are often triggered by trauma or an inability to manage stress. Now, what research has found is that women are overrepresented in these groups because women are socialized to never express their stress or their psychological pain or worry. Women are never supposed to be angry. Women are not to be sad. Women are not to be any emotion that is not happy, content, and easygoing. So
You
women
know,
swallow.
that that last sentence is interesting that you mentioned because society sees women as the fragile one, as the emotional one, et cetera, right? But you're right. When it comes down to anger, when it comes down to the quote unquote negative emotions,
Mhm.
women are not allowed to express, I guess.
No,
Yeah.
no, you
And I
cannot
can
have.
see how that, yeah, I feel like society as a whole feels like, women can express sadness, because they cry. They're dainty. They should cry. Yeah.
Right.
They can express, I guess, I don't know, any emotion that is fragile and crying, they're allowed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but God
Right.
forbid, not God
Yeah.
forbid, society
No, no,
forbids,
no. Exactly.
they
And
express
yeah.
anger, stress, anything like
Yeah.
that.
And especially because there is such a thing as healthy anger, right? Like there
Right.
is this thing. And so when I saw that, it really, really resonated with me because I'm definitely in a space in my life where I'm coming to terms with that fact. And so, yeah. And so women are very much always sort of clamping that down, and it literally makes them sick. And
Yep.
that applies to all human beings. Women just are socialized in a way that it affects
Right.
them disproportionately. Um,
Right.
but and that
I
applies
think
to all of us.
to all men in the on the contrary, like for us it's the fragile sensitive emotions that we're not allowed to express those are the
Right.
ones that would kind of affect us the most because like you're allowed to cry. Men are like allowed to cry. Men are allowed to feel lonely. Men are allowed to feel sensitive. Men are allowed to feel
Yeah.
needy. But
Yeah. Go
society
listen to
has taught
our
us not to do it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Go
because
listen to our
it's
toxic masculinity episode
that we never published.
that we never published. No, yeah, we did. Didn't we? Well, we'll publish it because it's really good. It was so good.
It was good. We just never published it.
We just never
Technical
published it.
difficulties.
That's right. Now I remember. But yes, that's exactly why men aren't
Incoming.
allowed. Incoming. But yeah, so all of that to say, that's why we wanted to have this sort of tell us your most painful, the most painful thing anybody has told you, and see if we can't get some of this, you know, demons out.
Yeah, and then between all the stories that we read, we will share our own. Um, we'll challenge you to see which one is ours.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
challenge you to see.
All right, so we're
You'll know which
gonna
one.
take a little break.
All right, guys. So we're back. I probably shouldn't come back that chipper, but it's this podcast. So welcome.
We like the dark.
If this is your first, yeah, we like the dark here. If this is your first episode of General Query, welcome. Yeah.
I don't know why when I said we like the dark, my mind just went to like Harry Potter, and I was like, yeah, we're both Slytherin. Actually, have you done that little, once again, caveat, have you done your little Harry Potter exam?
Yeah.
What were you?
I kept testing myself until I got Gryffindor, obviously. Because I kept getting Slytherin whenever I answered honestly, and I didn't want that.
Once again, we're both Slytherin, so
So I kept answering wrong until I got Gryffindor.
why do you even want to belong in Gryffindor? What the fuck?
I want to be part of the brave, bro. Like, are you kidding me? Hello?
Fuck the brave.
And this is why I kept getting Slytherin naturally, but then I was like, no, I would.
Yeah, no, I did it once. I got Slytherin, and I was like, accurate.
No, I got it. And I was like, no. I remember.
You're like the fuck, the fuck.
I was like, no. Yeah. So we're back to read you your most painful things. People
And
have
to
told
read you as well. Just kidding.
And to read you back to you. Hi. Hello. Please refer to the earlier segment about psychological pain. Let us know. Emotional damage. Okay.
Right. The one episode where that goes and we haven't used it.
We haven't used it once.
I know. Gosh.
Okay.
So sad.
What is the most painful thing you've been told? I'm just going to reiterate the question once at the top, just so people remember. Okay.
Yes.
My ex told me he cheated on me with my best friend at that time. At that time, that was the most painful thing anyone had told me. To get betrayed by not only your partner, but your best friend, who you should share and tell everything to. Well, what I can tell you is that sounds horrific, but you know what's great about that is you got rid of 2 fucking snakes at once. And 2 snakes.
I love your your outlook at it.
2 snakes that you actually thought were the closest people to you, and right. They actually were your greatest fucking enemies. So, yeah. And you got rid of them at the same fucking time. So good riddance. By the way, really quick caveat, you know how we were talking earlier in the earlier segment about righteous anger and shit? Yeah, let's bring that back in 2024 and going into 2025. You know what? Fuck. Hold on. Pause really quick. fuck being like, I wish them the best. I don't. I hope you get asshole fingers for the rest of your life.
That's not.
I don't wish you well. I don't. I really
Asshole
don't.
fingers is not a bad thing. Just kidding.
Not fingers, fissures. Fissures,
Oh!
not fingers.
I was like, girl, watch
Not
your audience.
fingers. No, you're like, who do you think is listening to this podcast right now? No, fissures. Fissures.
Okay, yeah. We don't want those. Got it.
I hope your car gets
You
fucking
do know
repoed.
your audience.
See, I do. I hope your car gets repoed. I really fucking do. I don't wish you well.
Right.
Thank you.
Here's where like the two different people come in, because you said good grievance, you got rid of two people at the same time. For me, it was like, girl, that was expected. Like that happens all the time. You know? Like
That's the thing, though.
That message was a queer, and I can tell you that is very common. That's why my boyfriend and I both have straight best friends.
It's called insurance, okay?
I'm also kidding, because like it was just a coincidence. Like you happen to be straight.
It just worked out.
His best friend happens to be straight, so like just work out.
Oh, that's so funny.
That is so funny though. Like, never trust your gay best friend if you're gay. Never.
Duly noted.
Or you're a lesbian, or your lesbian best friend. Never trust her. Nope.
Duly noted.
Yeah.
All right. What's yours?
Okay. I'm not saying we're terrible people, but we kind of are. Anyway, so the next story is, what is the most painful thing you've been told? I know Suki mentioned it already, but I just wanted to remind you guys, because
make sure
we have opinions. Anyway, so getting kicked out of the military. And then there's like a side note to it. I got caught fucking a white boy on base in his car back in 1999.
See, as someone with a little knowledge of how things work in the military, okay?
That's true.
You don't just get kicked out, okay?
Yeah.
There's like a process, okay?
Okay, but think of 1999.
No, for sure.
Uh-huh.
This is what's really funny. Is I have a feeling that this person got caught doing it, right? And either didn't even try to like come up with like an excuse or like anything, you know? And that's what ended up happening or whatever. But or this wasn't the first time.
I'm gonna go with the latter, but also
yeah, me too. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but also
just from what I know,
what wasn't like 1999 like don't ask, don't tell kind of scenario?
It was for sure. But this is where what I know comes in, is that while that was absolutely definitely a thing, another thing that's also always been a thing is the fact that the military loves their money. Okay. And on average, on like the first year of a military person being in the military, they spend about $300,000 on training, living expenses, all kinds of shit. So normally takes
what
a little bit to kick them out of the military. So it would be one of those things where we'd be like, all right, dude, listen, like, we're not supposed to, like, we really don't like that you're having, you know, anal sex with white boys in the back of your car. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that was probably what the conversation was like. And they're like, dude, please don't fucking do this. Like, please don't make, a lot of it too was probably like, please don't make me write this up. Don't make me fucking write this up. Like, I guarantee you
And
there was a
then
lot
they
of
were
that.
either like, fuck it, I did it, or they were like, third time's the charm.
110%.
I don't
Also,
know.
I'm not trying to be an asshole, but this person was definitely in the army. Calling it.
What about the
Sorry.
Marines? I hear the Marines are like the
Yeah.
promiscuous.
Yeah, they're
They're
very
also pretty
promiscuous.
boys.
Yeah. Well, that's more like the Navy.
Navy. That's what I was
Yeah.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the
Um,
difference? Marines, Navy, aren't they both in the water?
yeah, but the Marines is like a department of the Navy. It's not, yeah, it's like a sub de- actually that's funny. It's like a underling of the Navy. Yeah.
Noted.
So
Look for Marines on the profile.
correct. Yeah. It's funny. They
Got it.
like yeah, it's funny. They like to say like you say like, oh, the Marines are a department of the Navy, and then they say the men's department. That's their
Mm,
whole thing.
got it.
Zinger.
Love it.
Thingy. Thingy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, babe.
Uh yeah.
Next story.
Next story. Yeah, hold on, sorry. My phone.
Just restarted. Do you want me to read the next?
Yes, please read the next one. And then
You're like, my fucking phone.
like,
All right.
yeah, read it, please.
Okay. The most painful thing I've been told is you will never be anything. You will be just like your father who has done nothing. Interesting.
That's rough. No, that's rough.
Silence.
Like that's like I'm like trying to come up with some thingy, you know?
I love how like last episode was all about parenting, and then this episode is
We're
like,
like,
nope.
see what we mean?
Yeah. So like,
Yeah,
remember when I said like never try to make your child yourself
yeah.
out of experience? I was like, don't do that. I
Don't
feel
do
like this
that.
is one of those scenarios. Like, I guess the parent was trying to make their child seem like their parent or something.
Themselves. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that sucks. That's awful. I hope whoever wrote that in is like past that. And I hope your dad's dead. For your sake.
Wait, so like, according to this person, then you will end up dead like your father. Well, we're all gonna die. You have a
Yeah.
point.
You know? Like, fuck it.
That's funny. All right. Do you want me to read the next?
It's still going. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, iPhone, I love you. Anyway,
Oh, iPhone.
I love how like Android people are always like, yeah, iPhone sucks, blah blah blah. For us, that we've been using iPhones, since like
Forever.
conception.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not gonna lie. Like my first iPhone was probably like the fourth generation because I was like, that shit looks like a fucking pebble. I'm not gonna do it. I still had my cool
Yeah.
little like Gossip Girl flip phone. What was it called? The
Cute.
Razor? No, not the
Yeah.
Razor. What was it called? I don't know. Anyway, and then now it's like iPhone versus Android. Whatever.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm gonna have to translate this one. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
Oh,
Bye.
I gave you the power to destroy me. I gave you the power to destroy me. You broke my heart in 1,000 pieces. I love you. Ending things with you was the hardest thing ever, but I love myself a little bit more. So I have to say, I end things with you Go on with your life. I hope to never see you again. Oh, I wish our Spotify and Apple podcast people could see your face right now.
Oh
What the
man.
fuck? That is harsh to hear. I'm not gonna lie. If someone were to tell me I gave you my heart and the power to destroy me and you did it, my thoughts would be like, I know, I won. But no one's ever said it. So
The disappointment in your
I
face.
know. Yeah. So,
Um,
you know,
what did you do? Like, I,
true, very true.
you know, like
But
that
also
just
think
made me,
about breakups. Like, okay, quick caveat. Let's go
yeah,
back to our
okay.
breakups episode. Did you do anything when you guys broke up? No.
No, because
Okay,
I'm a
maybe,
fucking
because I know
angel.
you. I'm like, actually, maybe, because I know you, and maybe you were a little detached. But also, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You were detached for a reason, and that reason was like he's a
Yeah,
fucking asshole.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So I'm a fucking angel. Like that's the thing. Like, what is
Hmm.
that Parks and
Okay.
Rec? What is that Parks and Rec meme where it's like, I have done nothing wrong
I don't
ever,
know her.
and then her dad's
I
like I
don't
know.
know her.
Her dad's like, I know this. That's me. I've done
I don't
nothing wrong
know. I don't
ever.
know. So Parks and Rec, don't know her. Who is she?
No, okay. I will post the meme because trust me, you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Okay,
But
cool.
no, so like,
Parks and Rec was
I think
that Audrey. What's her name? Audrey Plaza, or is that
yes.
The Office?
No. It's
Parks and
it's
Rec.
that one.
Okay,
Parks and
cool.
Rec. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think no. So that's no, but to your point, I think breakups are one of those things where I'm gonna quote Downton Abbey. I know most people that listen to our podcast haven't seen Downton Abbey, but uh, the great Dame Maggie Smith has this line in there that said, basically it boils down to in breakups, no one is ever really in possession of the facts, meaning everyone, there's always a certain level of
Perception.
emotion involved. Right. And so perception is always warped, right? To a certain degree, right? And so I think that's the thing that makes breakups so tricky, right? And so, yes, maybe to this person is like, I gave you sort of like this key to my heart, right? And then you took it and stomped on it, whatever. Like at this I
I
should
hate
not.
that we're laughing,
It's
but
just
it
like
is kind of funny.
this is funny, but like to this day, like uh my husband like makes fun of me about this because it's so funny. But like my high school boyfriend like left me this like very sort of like dramatic like voice mail like when I broke up with him and it was like Christina Perry's like Jar of Hearts and how I go along life like how I run around leaving scars collecting a jar of hearts like or whatever and it's just me.
Before we move forward with this conversation, wasn't your high school boyfriend like a little chub?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Just wanted to
yeah,
make a point of that.
like he
Self
just like
consciousness comes into effect. Anyway,
but also like you know what I mean like in his again in his perception in his eyes I was this like malicious vixen that just came and like stomped on his heart and it's just like fucking me like reading anime in a corner, you know what I mean, like it's like it wasn't
also,
that,
like, I just
you know.
pictured you two because I met you like after him, like a couple
Right,
years
you
after
did.
him,
Yes, you did.
and
Yeah.
I can just picture you and him. Like, first of all, you're 5'11". Let's
Yeah.
start there. He
Yeah.
was probably like 5'8" at most.
No,
Taller?
5'6", probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I said, at most.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
like, I picture because when I
Shorter
met you,
king.
you were like
Yeah.
this massive little stick walking around.
Yeah.
And then I pictured this 5'8" in my head. Five
In your
six is
head.
reality.
Yeah.
Chubby dude. So obviously he was fucking self-conscious, and I love it.
Hey, listen, we were teeny tiny. We were kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
No, but I
again,
love his like jar of what is it?
Jar
Broken
of
hearts, whatever.
Hearts, Christina
Yeah.
Perry. Like the
I
guys,
love that
come on.
song.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a great song. Not me. You know what I mean? Like not reflective. Maybe now. Maybe
I
now
was
I
about to
could
say,
do.
are we
Maybe now I could
okay,
definitely own.
slithering?
Yeah, maybe now I could own that. At that time, no. You know what I
Right.
mean?
No, I
So
love
I
that.
think I hope you're doing better. Probably you didn't deserve half of that, but if you did,
Deserve
this is not
what
what you did.
though?
Like
Deserve
the,
what?
because like, oh, you broke my heart and you took advantage of me and blah blah blah. Like, this person's saying this is the most painful thing
No,
anybody
you
has ever
deserve
said.
it. If you're that sensitive, you deserve it. Bye.
Again, two types of people. Welcome to General Query here, everyone. Uh, my phone is back up on that note. Uh,
All
and
right.
on that
We'll
lovely
do
note,
we'll do two stories.
each.
Cause
Yeah. Okay.
you. Two stories you, because
The
I did
story is
two.
me.
Back to
Okay.
back.
Okay. Uh, the most painful thing this person's been told is your brother's been in a car accident. I can't imagine the stress. I mean, that's the thing about car accidents, right? Is that you never know
Yeah.
how bad it is until someone like spells it out for you, right? Like I think most people have been on some level of a car accident and it's always terrifying. Like even if you
Yeah.
get rear-ended, it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
And then when it's a loved one and like they call you, it's yeah. You've been in pretty scary car accidents, right, Fonzie, before? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. One specifically that I can
Yeah.
remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That I almost died.
Yeah.
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 The car was completely totaled. It is scary for sure. And that's the first thing I thought. Like as soon as I came out of the car, I was like, holy shit. Like there's an
Yeah.
angel watching because there was no way I made it through.
I made it
No
through
way.
alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny, like when you talking about physical, like physical and psychological pain, like reading that, like so and so has been in an accident or you've been in a, like you can feel it. Like I feel it in my stomach, or like
Yeah.
that
For
feeling, you
me,
know it so
so
well.
with that story, I want to get into like the like spiritual realm because I'm a
Mm,
true believer that when things that dramatic happen, whether it be, and I want to say the car accident because it's like the most common, unfortunately,
sure.
but a car accident or like, I don't know, you were bungee jumping and then you had a heart attack and you didn't make it through, or like, any of those scenarios where like you were doing something probably ordinary or like maybe you're on vacation and you just didn't make it back. Um, for me, when it comes down to those scenarios and the spiritual realm, like I feel like obviously that spirit, that energy, that whatever is still wandering around. Because obviously,
Yeah.
when you have that sudden of a death, you left a million things pending.
Yeah, you feel like it didn't separate properly, is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you didn't
I
even
can
get the
see that.
chance to say goodbye. You didn't even get a chance to close doors. You didn't even get a chance to get closure. So for me, when it comes down to like accidents that crazy, I don't know.
Yeah.
That is like my, wait, point.
It's like a
I'm kind
thing.
of like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm gonna
I
get a little vulnerable and say like, an acquaintance of ours did pass unfortunately with like a disgusting, terrible semi accident, and I didn't know this person a lot, and I didn't know this person like super personally, but it still kind of like shocked me. because I was like, the fuck. I just saw them last week or maybe 2 weeks ago or whatever, and now it's over. And then
Okay.
for me, the I guess the most painful part was like what came after.
Yeah.
It's like that person was just gone, and then whatever happened after was completely out of their control, obviously. And everyone else around the situation saw it, and everyone else around the situation felt it. And I don't know, for to my perspective, one, that person never deserved it. You know how sometimes people are like, like God chooses whatever, whatever. Like, some
Whatever.
people are
Yeah.
deserving or whatever. There's a reason for everything. Um, like I said, I didn't know this person like super personally, but I don't know. When that happened, I was kind of like shaken because this person seemed like a genuine good person, like no
Yeah.
ill intention ever, and it just wow. It just shook me. Like even now, just talking about it, and I'm kind of like, ugh.
Yeah.
So anything regarding car crashes and people suddenly dying, hard.
Is yeah, it's very, very hard. It's hard and
Yeah,
it's so difficult to understand.
very.
Yeah, to wrap
Yeah,
your head around it. Yeah.
car
So
crashes, plane crashes, anything that suddenly happens, hard to understand. And I know that energy's out there somewhere looking for closure.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
It says the next one is kind of on the same thread. Uh when my sister told me my mom passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
everybody
Every passing.
dreads anybody's
Uh,
passing.
that
Like,
that comment was very vague because I don't know, like if your mom or your dad or your grandpa's in hospice, like not to be a dick,
yeah,
but it's gonna
yeah.
happen.
Everybody, and that's the thing, that's what's so interesting about death, right? And a little bit goes, I'm like in line with what you were saying, is that there's like variant levels of how we deal with death, right? If either you're prepared for it, you're seeing it coming, it's an elderly person, or it's someone that's been chronically ill for a very long
Right.
time, or if it's something like in an accident or something that happens quickly, like we all, like all these things contribute to how we deal with these things, right? But I think it's like you said, or like we said at the top of the episode, that's what, sorry guys, that's what we mean by inescapable pain, right? Like this is it. That's what we mean. Like psychological pain like death, loss.
Yeah.
That is definitely one we
Any emotional pain, yeah.
cannot escape
But
what.
also that's the thing because I've met two different kinds of people. Like I've
Mhm.
met the person that same scenario. They both had someone in hospice. It's their great what is it, great grandfather or mother or whatever, or
Yeah.
like their grandfather or their grandmother, and they're both in hospice and they know or they see it coming.
Yeah.
And I've met the person that's kind of like, I saw it coming, it hurts because I missed the person, but I saw it coming, so I understand. And then there's the person that's kind of like, oh my God, it's so painful, blah, blah, blah. But it's the
Yeah.
same situation where like you both saw it coming,
Yeah.
just
But
it's
it's
harder on one than the other.
for
I don't
one or
know.
the other.
It's
Yeah. I think it's
luckily,
just
I'm
different.
thankful that it's never happened to me
Yeah.
because I don't know how I would deal with it,
Yeah.
honestly. But it is kind of interesting to me to see both sides of like, I saw it coming, I'm okay, or I saw it coming, it
And I'm not
completely
okay.
destroyed me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you're next.
All right. Next story. So people used to make fun of me when I was skinny and had a big nose. I'm exactly the same, but I don't give a fuck. I like the attitude now.
I love that
Bullying,
too.
I don't know. Maybe you didn't, maybe, but I did. I went through bullying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No,
First of
same.
all, I was super skinny. I was a late
Yeah,
bloomer, and people call
same.
me a faggot.
Same.
Turns out they were right. Oops.
You're like, work. Yep.
Thanks. You knew before I did.
Uh yeah. Um yeah, no, definitely bullied. Same thing. For a good chunk of my life, my elbows and my knees were wider than my arms and my legs. So I, I wasn't exactly, I've talked a lot about my precious bowl cut on this podcast before. Um,
I've
I
seen it. I wish our listeners can see that.
I might get brave and post it because it
I'm
is,
not gonna lie. At some point, I legit had it saved on my phone,
yeah.
and I would just
It's
look at it
it's
and just be like,
it's the
"Holy fuck, this is
it's the
beautiful."
stuff of legend because it's not just the haircut, it's the expression because it's the picture, it's a picture of a villain's origin story is what it is.
Yep.
It's I
One
look
hundred
like
percent.
a child in a Russian orphanage is what I look like actually. And so it's actually horrendous. And so yeah, so I was bullied. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's funny. I honestly, without sounding too like hippy dippy, it made me better. Honestly, they can all kiss my ass. Because you know what? I ran into my bully years later. Uh, and it was one of the most satisfying experiences I think I've had as an adult. Um, he wanted to take me on a date so fucking badly, so badly. Asked several people, how he could manage to do that, all these things. And I was like, oh, what a fucking loser. Uh, it was the absolute best. This was a person
Yeah.
that would call me like a hermaphrodite, like in class, and like would
Not
like
that that's offensive, but like
no,
to
no, no,
them, it
but
felt offensive.
for
Yeah.
to them it was an insult. Like
Right.
they meant it
Exactly.
as an insult, right?
Exactly.
Like, and they
It's
would
like,
like,
I
yeah,
hate to say it, but nowadays people throw trans
as an
or
insult,
tranny as an insult.
as an
It's
insult.
not
Yeah,
an insult.
it's
Anyway.
not an insult, but definitely I was definitely on the receiving end of that. That was his like insult of choice was to like
Right.
opine on like my body and like how non-feminine it looked. Talk to these double D's, motherfucker. Anyway, so anyway, what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say is that now it is one of those things where I've seen what has happened to a lot of my bullies, and I'm like, oh,
I was about to say, I have yet to bump into any of my bullies, but I can guarantee you,
yeah,
if I ever did,
yeah, yeah.
this looks a lot better than what they thought it would ever.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So,
Yeah. And
yeah,
I'm pretty sure I know who sent that message, and I can guarantee you this person feels exactly the same way.
and you know what? Good for them.
Yeah,
Good
good for
for
them.
them.
Yeah.
Good for them. That's the thing.
And
If
and,
you were
and, and it's
bullied,
sad that yeah, we get bullied and stuff, but at the end of the day, it only makes us better
that's what I was
and
gonna
it
say.
only makes us
Yeah.
stronger. Cause
Yes.
now nothing. Like look at Suki and I. You can call us whatever the fuck you want. We will take it and we will come back 10 times harder.
And honestly, nine
And
times out
guess
of 10,
who's gonna cry? Not us.
not us. And honestly, probably 9 times out of 10 will probably agree with you.
I
You
beg to
know,
differ.
like, no, honestly, if you're like, you know what, Suki, you're a fucking asshole. Yeah,
Yep,
probably.
touche.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes. You
I've
know,
been called that a couple times, and I
yeah,
don't necessarily disagree.
same. You know what I mean? Eh, yeah.
Also,
So
for
no,
me, it's kind of weird because like the word asshole to me is
synonymous.
synonymous. There you go. Synonymous to honest. People don't like honesty.
And an asshole would say that.
Exactly.
He would. So here we are. So all I have to say is I think what I get from that is like some psychological and emotional pain does make you stronger. And a lot of the
100%.
times you
I
do.
don't want
You're
to
better
say
for it.
some. I want to say all of it.
You
Unfortunately,
think so?
all of it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can make, yeah, you
Even
can
even
absolutely make.
even if you hear, your brother or your mother, your cousin, your whatever died in a car crash, I think at the time it's painful, but it'll make you stronger.
Yeah, you have the opportunity to come back better.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Is it my turn or is it your turn again?
Your turn.
Okay. Let's see. Fonz knows I laughed at this one when we were going over them preparing for the episode, and I love this one. Do you think you give off good vibes?
I don't know if
That
that
is,
was a read to us or like
listen,
what they were told.
whatever it was, uh, I love it. If this is supposed to be the most painful thing someone's been told, and I think what happened is somebody was told, "Do you think you give off good vibes?" And then immediately after, they were told, "Because you don't." I think that's what happened. And I find this fucking hilarious because I can see this happening to me, like in real time, 110%, right? And I love it. I think
Not
it's fucking
verbatim,
hilarious.
not verbatim, but I know I've been told something similar to it at some point.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I don't care.
yeah, yeah. No, you know what I've been told, literally, legitimate, verbatim. Someone has told me, "You think you're really funny, don't you?" But with that, like that tone, and I was like, I do. You know,
I
like again, they were
That's the thing when
absolutely
people say
disgusted.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
when people say that and they have a straight face, I
yeah.
don't say I think I am, because I personally don't think I'm funny. If you're listening to this and you think I'm funny, thank you. I appreciate
You're
it.
the best. We
Yeah,
appreciate it
right.
so
I
much.
appreciate you so much. I don't
You're an
think I'm
angel.
funny. I'm just being serious.
It's
Which I
like
don't know which one's the worst, like
I don't
being
know which
serious or
one's
being
worse,
funny, but
but
you know,
whatever it was about me as a person was really offending this person, like on a molecular level. And I found that really funny, right? And
right.
so unfortunately, it made me laugh at the time. Later, I was like, dang, this person was like really upset by like my existence. You know what I mean? Which at the time you do have that moment because everyone's human, and so you're kind of like, dang. Then I was like, well, I mean, in at a certain level, I appreciated this person being this honest. Like, you think you're really funny, don't you? Like just straight faced and like cold, you know? Uh, and yeah, I don't know. I think in a lot of ways, if that happens, like in this moment where somebody was like, do you really think you give off a good vibe because you don't? Um, maybe like have the moment, take it in as like a note, like, okay, got it. Maybe I don't, or whatever. But also take it with a grain of salt, truly.
Right.
Like, don't take
Yeah.
anything too fucking personally or too
Right.
seriously,
Yeah.
honestly. Like, you never know, that person that told you that might not have gotten fucked right last night or that morning, you know, might be a little upset, you,
Right.
they might be going through their own shit and you just rubbed them the wrong way that
For
time.
the
You just
most
might
part,
be,
I feel
you
that's
know,
what it is.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's their
They're
shit.
going through something. You said something they didn't agree with. Potato, potato. What you said was probably right. They just didn't agree with it.
At the
Couple
time,
months from now, they'll agree with you.
just let it go.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Yeah.
I love how this episode is all about emotional pain and we're just like laughing at everyone.
That's how we understand our pain. You see?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
next
you.
one. When my
Okay.
brother called to say our mom died. Once again, very vague. I hope. I mean, regardless, it's your
Yeah.
mother.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure it was painful. Um, Once again, two sides to it. Was it unexpected? Was it expected? Either way, it's painful. So, I mean, I get it.
Yeah. I get it too. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Um, the most painful thing I've been told is that being molested at 15 wasn't enough of a reason for my grades to have dropped. Yeah, so whoever told you that is an absolute piece of human garbage.
That sounds like
And
a parent, though.
it does sound like a parent, or it sounds like a person of authority in your life that
Yeah.
is overseeing your grades, or oversaw your grades at the time.
Right.
And if they didn't, or no one at the time or since has said it, I'm so fucking sorry that that happened to you and that no one had the fucking decency to give you space to have a fucking second, to not give a fuck about your grades. I think that's another thing that happens a lot when it comes to emotional and psychological pain, and why perhaps a lot of people don't understand it or are able to take the time to understand it, is that no one gives people the grace to do so, right? Like, I think
Or
a lot of the
wants
times,
to. I think
or
wants to.
wants to.
Yeah, wants to
Yeah,
understanding. It's different.
it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Like, I think it's a lot of like, okay, well, it happened. Like, will you be better by next time on Tuesday? Do you think? Like, and that's the problem with like emotional things. Like when you break your arm, what do they tell you? Come back and we'll take the cast off in 6 weeks, right? And
Right.
your bone is healed. Well, that's the problem with your brain. It doesn't work that way, right? Like recovery isn't linear.
And not
So,
the same for everyone.
correct.
Yeah.
So there's no like path there.
Yeah.
Um, so grace is not the same. So yeah, that person is garbage.
It's
And
not one of the am I the asshole scenarios, but whoever told you that is completely an asshole. And not
completely
in
an
the good
asshole.
way.
Not in the fonts way.
And not where you take it as a compliment.
Not where you take it as a compliment. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Okay, so next story, well sentence is I'm not enough. That sounds like an ex told you you're not enough. I hope you moved on from that. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah, my God, truly. And honestly, half the time it's like enough for what? And for who?
I was about to say that. I was about to say like enough for who?
For you with your 3 fucking chin pubes and your negative bank account balance? Is that what I'm supposed to be enough for? And your 500 credit score? Is that, oh,
Right.
okay. And your
Yeah.
associate's degree? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Cool fucking story.
Yeah. Enough for
Cool.
what? Yeah.
Like, No, no. Be enough for you. I mean, I feel like half of most of us, I would argue, have a hard time feeling like we're enough for ourselves, right? Like feeling like you're fulfilling what you want for you, let alone for
For
anybody
anyone
else,
else. Yeah.
anyone else.
Yeah.
And when a partner is talking to you this way, bye.
Yeah.
Have you
We
been
talked about
watching?
it.
Yeah. No.
Have you been watching what?
I was going to say, have you been watching the Olympics? Have you seen the cornucopia of dick in the world? I think you're going to be fine.
Just go to France.
That poor young man. He's
Oh my
probably like,
god.
damn it, not my
Did,
dick again, you
no,
know?
here's the thing. People are speculating that it was a publicity stunt
No. Really? What? So
to
he can start his
promote,
OnlyFans?
no, to promote
Oh.
his OnlyFans. He
Oh, so he
already
already
had
had
one.
one.
Yeah. Yeah. Because apparently athletes, like Olympic athletes in some countries, only make like 45,000. Exactly. So France is one of them. Apparently, this guy was making less than that. And so, like, obviously, he had to supplement his lifestyle with something different. And OnlyFans was an option. And this was his opportunity. Which props to you because I've seen a million drawings of you and paintings.
So you're telling me not even Olympic athletes are making 50 grand?
Nope. In some countries. I don't know how much they make in the US, but I know for a fact in France, he didn't even meet 45. Right.
So you're so the
And
running,
I can tell you in Cuba, because I have a Cuban boyfriend,
uh-huh.
they're making a lot less than 45.
I,
And by a
I,
lot, I mean like $2. They're making $2 to compete in the Olympics.
is that hyperbole? Are you being ridiculous or is that the actual amount?
Not the actual amount. Let's go with 50, and that's probably a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. Yay, communism. Yeah.
I did not know this was the backstory behind France's whole thing. I had no
Yeah.
fucking clue. No idea.
Yeah. Well, okay. So it's obviously speculation. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what people are saying. Like,
Okay.
apparently, he's had an OnlyFans for a while. Since he knew he was probably not going to get a gold medal, he decided to take the opportunity and just go with it.
You know what? Bless up. Dick
Yeah.
up.
If he
Whatever.
did, congratulations. I hope you got plenty of subscriptions because you deserve them.
Congrats on your jump and congrats on everything else, sir.
Right.
Okay. I think you're next.
um oh, this one's hard. I wish I could love you, but you remind me too much of my ex, and we only gotten closer because of him in the first place. That's gross.
Oh. You
I've never been told this, and if I did, it would have been like an immediate like fuck you. Bye.
know, if somebody told me that, you know what I would have done? I'd
Cut
have
their
been like,
balls. Oh, okay.
I'd have
Just
been
kidding.
like, I'd been like, oh, mm. And then the next day, I would have gathered all their plants and I would have grabbed a little box of baking soda and I would have dusted baking soda in all of their plants and watered all of their plants with baking soda. Then I would have waited a couple more days and done it a couple more times. And then just watched all their plants fucking die. All the roots shrivel up slowly but surely because you can't bring that shit back. And I was like, oh, I did that. Go fuck yourself. And then I would have left. That's what I would have done. What an absolute trash. Who
I,
says that? Who?
I
What
feel,
the fuck?
I feel like you gave them too much credit.
For owning plants?
Yeah,
Yeah. You know what? That's my internal fear is because I own a
right.
lot of plants, and I feel like that's where people can get me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
That baking soda thing isn't real, guys.
yeah. Actually, it isn't because it
It
kills
isn't.
bacteria.
It isn't. It isn't real at all. You don't have to mix it with anything at all in order for that to work. Anyways,
um,
yeah.
no,
But yeah,
um, that is really gross that anyone will tell you, oh, I'm only with you because you remind me of my ex. Fuck you.
yeah.
But, if anyone ever told me that, I'd be like, silent, grab my bags, take off. Oh, we split the cell phone bill. I'm sorry, you're paying it now. Oh, we split the light. You know what? You're paying it now. Oh, rent. Oops. I found a place. This is your car. Pay it.
Bye. Bye.
Also, who's that obsessed with their ex? That's fucking disgusting. Get
Seriously,
over
that's
it.
fucking weird. Get over yourself. And then,
Yeah.
ew. I would
I
honestly, I'd
know.
contact their ex and I'd be like, get a fucking restraining order. He's creepy.
Yeah, no.
I
For
would-
me, it's kind of like, and it's weird because I know a lot of people do this, but I don't. When they keep friends with their exes, I know we talked about it during our relationships episode. I don't know. Not for me.
It's not for me either.
Yeah. Maybe you
You
belong
know,
in Gryffindor and that's why you're friends with your ex.
maybe that's why.
But it is not for me. And it's
It's
not
not.
because I hate them, because I've said this before too. Like I don't hate my exes. I don't think I ever will,
Yeah.
regardless of what they did. But it's because like I learned something about myself through
Yeah.
them. And
Yeah.
so like I don't hate them, but I also don't want them to be part of my present or my future.
Sure. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Of course.
Yeah. Much less my present partner. And I'm comparing them with them. Gross.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Gross.
Hashtag obsessed. Move on.
Hashtag bang. Okay. This is my second to last one. Uh, the most painful thing I've been told is, I love you so much, but I can't be with you right now. He proceeds to go on hookup apps and have fun.
Um, at least he was honest.
I think he was honest about the latter part that he can't
Right,
be with you
exactly.
now, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. I mean,
Look, if you want to whore around, that's fine. Everyone loves that. But be honest from the beginning.
it sounds like they were ish.
Beginning.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Not from the beginning. Yeah,
right.
that's
Yeah, if you have a
alright.
relationship already, you're not being honest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just remember that for the next time when you're
right.
dealing with someone, just be like,
Beginning.
Beginning. Beginning.
Right. I'm not looking for
Okay.
anything serious. Keywords. Not
Key
looking
word.
for anything
Not looking.
serious. Fucking children.
God. Okay.
All right, next one. They wanted to marry me, but I'm just so hard to love. I've never heard that. But what does that even mean? I love you. I want to marry you, but you're so hard to love. I lie. I have heard it. Not like that, but similar.
Um,
And
what
I
does
know
that mean?
exactly what that means.
What does it mean?
That means the other person's not interested.
Oh,
Cough, cough. I was not interested.
oh, oh. So you just said they were hard to love?
So they said I was hard to love because I was not fully myself.
Uh,
Okay,
okay.
so if you guys are watching Bridgerton, have you watched the entire like last five
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
episodes?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think on the seventh to last episode.
Yeah.
So it's like 10 episodes to the latest season or whatever. I'm
Yeah.
on the seventh. And we're like Lady, what is it called?
Whistledown?
Yeah, Lady Whistleton, whatever her name is. She's in the midst of like telling what's the name? Colin that she's Lady Whistleton or whatever. And she's not being fully herself and like she can't stop writing because she wants to be herself and stuff like that. That's where I was when that person told me that.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Full heartedly, I knew I wasn't being myself. And that's why
Yeah.
things didn't work out. And that's why I decided to end things when they did. And I think
Yep.
you know who I'm talking about.
Yep. 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 Yep.
And so I think that's what that means. Like when someone tells you you're so hard to love, it means you are not being yourself to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you ever hear that, it means you're not being yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next,
Yeah.
once again.
And you're probably doubting yourself as it is.
Anyway, yeah, exactly. You're
Yeah.
not
Move
there.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Bye. Next. Okay. Summary of this podcast. Next.
Yeah.
Okay. This is my last one. The most painful thing I've been told is I love you, but I'll never really like you. You remind me too much of your grandmother, and she hated me. So that's that.
What? Uh, that's a coward.
Who's a coward?
The one who's saying you remind me too much of your grandmother. What the fuck?
Yeah. That's awful.
That is awful.
It's crazy. The I love you, but I don't like you. You know? It's
I
like
think we're
the
missing one. I think we're missing one. And I think we're gonna need a little 2 second break for this one.
okay.
Because I don't recall screenshotting it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, 2 seconds.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
2 seconds, we'll be back. Okay. Next story. Right?
Yes. So
Yes.
we're back.
We're back.
Next and final story.
Yeah.
So this person said the most painful thing I've been told is as a friend, there is no reason I would mind your bisexual quote unquote state of mind. But if someone were to date me or any further interest in a persona, I think I could becoming concerned the fact that I already had to keep a healthy trust and faithful interaction with an individual who is sexually driven to one gender. I cannot imagine the struggle knowing that your partner is attracted to both, and you will always know that he likes something you are not physically able to give him. So I'm gonna,
What?
as a bisexual man, I
Go
can
ahead.
say this is complete bullshit. I think both cisgendered straight females and cisgendered straight males or gay cisgendered males have a lot of work to do, because when a bisexual female or when a bisexual male comes to you, or even a
Mhm.
pansexual person comes to you,
Mhm.
um they are genuinely interested in you as a person.
Correct.
They're not interested in your genitalia. And yes, sex is a very important part of any relationship, and sexual compatibility is very important in any
Sure.
relationship.
Sure.
But when a bisexual or a pansexual comes to you, they're not coming to you with the premise of, you know, I'm interested in your genitals. They're coming to you on the premise of, I'm interested in your personality. Therefore, if they share any interest or if they show any interest in you, then why worry about anything outside of that?
Here's the thing. The straights are not okay. And here's why. Um, there is this thing that I don't think a lot of straight people, and I will speak for the straights here. So if you straights want to fucking come for me, come for me. Okay. There is a lot of things that straights and specifically men, and correct me if I'm wrong, but whoever sent us this was a straight dude. Am I wrong? That's correct. And I know I'm fucking right. I
I
know I'm
don't
right.
know. It's
I'm
it's
gonna,
anonymous.
it's a fucking straight dude. It's a straight dude. Because this is fucking straight dude behavior. Okay. And here's why. There is this thing that straight men have a proclivity to do in which they assign a hyper sexuality to queer folks. Okay. They assign this hypersexual nature to every single queer person they hear about, they know about. So every single queer identity, whether it be gay, bisexual, pansexual, they won't even know what asexual is, so we won't include it because obviously, but they won't even know what that means. But anyways, um, they will assign, oh, queer people, they want to fuck, period. And well, yeah, queer people want to fuck because they're also human beings, right? That's part of it. But that's always this trope that has always fucking irritated me when it comes to how straight people interact with queer folks, is that they always assume that queer folks are constantly on the fucking prowl, man. And they're just like, show me your dick and your pussy. You know what I mean? Like they're just like, show me what you got. And it's like, no one's out here operating this way, man. Like you think that way. And so you project what you reflect. Okay. That's your fucking problem here. Right.
Yeah.
So you go through the world hypersexualizing every single fucking person that you see. So you think that queer people do that same shit. So you think I'm a straight dude. I hypersexualize
Can
everything.
I say
Yeah, I
something?
see. Yeah.
Because I want to agree and disagree with you at the same point. So I agree with you that straight guys primarily, but also straight women, straight cisgender women do the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
But we're all on the same page because straight men and women, cisgender, do the same thing.
Yeah. Fair.
Always.
That's
hyper
fair.
sexualize everything. And
I
yes,
agree.
obviously, queers are human too. And yes, we always
Sure.
hypersexualize everything, but we're open about it. We're not hypocrites.
But that's what I mean, though.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. And so I agree. I agree with that point. Men and women,
Yep.
same shit. I agree. That's my thing, though. Is like, do not project or you reflect on this bisexual man and say, "Ooh, I would be
Uh,
uncomfy
yeah.
being
I'm
around
also not
this
saying
way."
everyone's the same. Like, obviously, you have your conservative bisexuals, you have
Sure.
your conservative gays who like want that ideal picket fence idea.
Yeah,
We
but
do not
let's be
want to.
real.
Straight people do not want to. But like, you're right.
Let's be real here. Like, it's just that thing where it's like, just because you feel this way, that makes you the weirdo, not them.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
understand that? Like
Yep.
that's where the disconnect is. And
Yeah.
that's where I feel for this person, this friend, where they're sort of on the receiving end being like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
why would this ever
So
be a thing?
I will say this as a bisexual male, like luckily I'm fortunate enough to be in a gay relationship now
Sure.
where like my gay partner is super accepting of my sexuality and
Mm.
yeah, maybe now I don't, mess around with women as I would like to or wish I could have, at some point.
Yeah.
But it was never about my sexuality, regardless. But
Yeah.
here's the thing, in the queer community, in the gay community specifically, there is a lot of stigma behind bisexuals. And there are a
Yeah.
lot of bisexuals who
Yeah.
technically, and bisexual males more specifically, because bisexual females have it easier, because, a lot of straight cisgendered males do tend to fetishize to women
By
kissing
women.
each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah,
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 or
of
to
course.
women, playing with each other. So they fetishize that. So it becomes normalized because a cisgendered straight male, yeah, likes that kind of behavior, you know, versus gay folks who are gay people who, you know, in my case, like I am a bisexual male in a gay relationship. It's hard to understand for a lot of people, but essentially what it means is like I'm still attracted to women. I can still be sexually aroused by women, but I am in a gay relationship, meaning I have chosen to be with a man versus a woman. Yeah, and it is a choice in
Why
that
is that?
scenario.
What okay. Sorry.
Uh-huh. And so for me, it's kind of like, the queer community and the gay community more specifically has to get away from this stigma where like bisexual men cannot have a happy relationship with a gay man because we're capable of. We just have to find the right gay man to be in a relationship with and who understands that it's not about genitals, it's not about sexuality, it's about that common understanding and that communication that comes with a relationship, whether it be a gay relationship, bisexual relationship, queer, whatever, you name it. It's all about communication.
Weird. It's almost like it's about a human connection. It's weird how that works.
Yeah, isn't it awkward?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Right.
bizarre. Yeah, that whole
Yeah.
thing.
Right.
Um, yeah, no, I mean, I can see how that could be absolutely painful. I think especially like on a friend level, where you can be like, "Oh, damn, like, that's a little bit hard, to and then because I think it's also hard the having to explain yourself, and sort of like be like, "No, you can trust me, friend. Don't worry
Right. Exactly.
much in the direction of your partner." You know what I mean? Like that's
Right.
fucking weird.
Yeah.
Friend, relax, okay? Um,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, yeah, yeah, so that's not great. Um, and again, that's another type of like emotional and psychological pain, right? Like the having to contend with, your friends and being like, oh
Norms.
my God, here we
Yeah,
go.
social norms.
Norms. Okay.
And I
Social
say that
norms. Okay.
because of bisexual people, like social norms conforming to, and it's weird because now, yeah, we still have ways to go, but gay and lesbians have it a little bit easier than bisexuals by far.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Well,
Yeah.
because again, everyone, one way or the other, folks are obsessed with the binary, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So if we can put you in a neat fucking box, damn it, that's where we want to put you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Men with men, women with men, women, men with women.
Yes.
Fine. But men who
Fine.
like both, confusing,
What?
not okay.
Now you're adding another layer to
You're
it?
just playing a role.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's the
That is a
whole
lot.
Pudenberry over
For
there.
those bisexuals out there, if you need a voice, if you need some sort of comfort, we are here. And
Blink,
this
blink
is
twice.
general query. Yeah.
Yeah,
Blink
blink
twice. Yeah, I
twice.
love that. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
blink twice.
yeah, we're here. General query is here to listen to you, and like
Yeah.
we hear you. We're here. I mean, once again, cisgendered, straight woman, bisexual, cis man, like we're here to listen to you guys and we completely understand.
We do. And what we don't understand, we're definitely open to being educated on. So
Absolutely.
we love it. Um, so yeah, let us know what you thought of this episode. And what we love about this episode is that we get to hear and talk about you guys and what you guys like to share. So we'll definitely be doing more of these coming up soon. And we can't wait to hear what you think. But until next time, this has been General Query.
General query.
Bye,
Bye.
guys. Bye.